mechanisch klare Ansagen. Also Leute, die kompensieren eine schlechte Biomechanik mit einer guten Kraft.
Oh. Wir machen jetzt weiter.
100.
Ich spreche jetzt über seine Punt-Return.
100.
Vorbildlich. Kommen alle zu spät. Please, thank you.
Alright, punt return. You've got to have a special one. He's the special one for us, number 7. He's the best returner. Sometimes it can backfire when you're having a great return. It's the only phase of the kicking game where 3 game breakers can occur. They can block the punt, you can return the punt for a touchdown, or you can get the snapper, put the ball into the end zone for a safety. That's the only phase of the game where that can happen. So we take a lot of pride in what we do on return for punt. We also work block punt. I won't have time to cover that, but we'll get into the actual return phase. Okay, this is where you can be too successful. Okay, this is what we did in 2016. Okay, 23 returns, 443 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, this year, right, no one would kick the ball to us. All they did was kick it out of bounds. That's all they did. They just didn't want to do it. So they would rather give us a short field rather than give up the long return. So we suffered with that. It was really frustrating because they just would not kick it to us. So we had some success in the international games, but in the AFL, which these stats are for the AFL, we just couldn't get it going because they just would not kick to us. So it sort of spoiled my day. This is our base alignment. We just line up like this. We're always going to present this. They're showing 3 techniques. What we actually do, if this was a return to the right, then the offside, the non-return side, they would actually be shaded to the return side, because the way we want to get the releases. These are linebacker types, fast linebackers. Okay, these are D linemen, fast, usually defensive ends, linebackers or safeties. These are linebackers. Okay, we don't call them corners anymore. We actually call them jammers now because we want to jam the gunner. So,
may I ask a question?
yeah.
Do you use the same alignment if you play against the shield block? Or
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you exactly how we line up to the. When I get to the scheme, you'll see exactly how we line up to the thing. So the jammers, cornerbacks, they're key to the return. They've got to be able to play. They've got to be able to. If the guy gets through them, they've got to be able to make up speed, get back down, get position. Okay. The main benefit that we want is agility. They've got to be able to redirect. They've got to be able to piggyback. We call it piggyback the guy down the field, okay, and avoid the block in the back, which is really tough. And you'll see on one of the films, sometimes they take it too seriously and knock the shit out of people when the return gets taken back with a penalty. So that's really key. You've got to, and that's usually going to be, more often than not, it's your starting corners or one of your starting safeties. You've got to be, like I said in the kickoff return, they're all starters on there. There's no backups on there. They're all starters on offense or defense. Okay, the ones, they got to have the speed. They got to get the vertical pressure. Okay, and they force the containment to retreat and stay in protection. That's like if you're talking about a normal spread punt, or some people call it a tight punt. You want those wings to stay in as long as you can, because they're the contain guys, and you want to make sure they stay in the protection as long as you can. You want single blocking, we want to come out, so it's all single blocking on the inside rushes, and then the speed, if they're backside to the return, they're the ones that are going to come around the return and help set the wall, which you'll see when I get to the scheme. Twos, speed, size, biggest of the return guys. They're going to be on the outside edge of the tackle if it's a tight punt. Okay, and again that's going to be linebackers or fast defensive ends, which we like. And again, the backside will get into the wall, so they have to have the ability to get around and know and have a good sense of positioning where they are in the field. Okay, threes. They're the ones closest to the punter. They're going to be like a 3 technique or a 1 technique on the guards, and they're the ones who are just coming straight. They're the ones when we run our block. They're the guys that are going to come up, and especially on a spread punt, on a shield punt, they're the ones that create the opening for us. And if I get time, I'll show you it. But again, all starters, okay? They got to be physical as well. I'll show you the drills that we do. We do the hold-up drills, and they have to be really, really physical with those guards. Okay. Fours, going to make sure that they see the ball punted, react quickly. These are linebacker types. Okay, they're the guys off the ball. We actually call them twos now. We sort of move the numbers around. They have to make sure that it's blocked. They have to have speed because one of them's going to block the long snapper. The other one is going to get to the return side and create a double team on the gunner to the return side. Okay, returner. Like I said, he's got to be special. Okay, we've got like Sandro is a good one. We've got another one coming next year. So they've got to be able to make. They've got to make someone miss. Okay, they can make 2 misses even better. They've got to be able to catch the ball in the air. It must be caught in the air. We do not like the ball to hit the ground on punt return because there's just too many variables. You'll see one return where he lets it bounce. He's not actually starting returning. He lets it bounce, it rolls and just pops up into his. I mean, we were lucky, you know, but he actually took it back to the house. So that's really important. And we do a lot of drills with the returners, making them catch it. We teach them, we try and teach them about, do you all know about where the nose is pointing, what's going to happen with a punt when the nose is pointing down? No? Okay, but if the nose, if it's a right-footed kicker and the nose is coming down, the ball's always going to bounce left. All right, I guarantee you can try it. If it's a left-footed kicker, left-footed punter, and then they get the rotation, they've got to have the rotation, not one of these end over ends. The nose is coming down, it's going to bounce right. Okay, I guarantee it, try it. And so they have to know that, they have to anticipate that. If it's a short punt and they can't get to it, they've got to anticipate where the bounce is going to take. So, right, we've got to be sound against any type of formation, motion, or fake. But we get a shitload of different looks, and they have to be able to adapt to where they got to go. Blocking punts, we attack the weaknesses of protection. For us, the weakness is always going to be the shortest distance to the football. Okay, we never want to come from the outside to block a punt. We always want to take the shortest way to the ball. A lot of teams don't spend as much time as they should. If you saw Shuan's presentation on punt, we spend a shitload of time on punt. I mean, we really do work at it. And we just watch other teams and we can see, you know, do they really spend time on it? Can we get to the block? That's what determines. If we think they work a bunch on it, then you know we'll come away from the block and concentrate on the return. There's a couple of teams, they put their quarterback back there, so we have to be alert. If the quarterback's back there, we have to make sure that ball's going to get kicked, not thrown, and we have to make sure that we understand who's eligible and who's not eligible, especially in a shield. Okay, if they put eligible people back there, eligible by number, then you have to make sure that you've accounted for them in your coverage, you know, to make sure, okay, if they do release out, who's got who. We just don't field every single punt. Do not let the ball hit the ground. exception the 10-yard rule. That means if he's on the 10-yard line, okay, and the ball's going to go over your head, let it go. Okay. I covered it yesterday in the kickoff return. If you fair catch it, you can't block anybody. If you don't fair catch it, go and smack someone in the mouth. I'm talking about the returner now. If you don't catch it and you decide that ball's going in and I'm not going to attempt a fair catch, go and block the nearest guy coming down. You're allowed to, but if you fair catch it, you cannot block. Okay, again, knowing who's eligible, making sure you got contained on both sides in case they do this rugby punt. You're starting to see a lot of rugby punt, so you want to make sure you contain that kicker, punter. Be able to play zone coverage, which is when we make a safe call. We call safe. We want to make sure we understand what we're doing. Look for the mismatches. Look for triggers. Okay, I talked about that in that other presentation about field goal. You look for the point from the personal protector. Maybe he points, and then as he points, he's maybe making a call, and the centre snaps it. Or with the centres, that's one of the key ones, is they've got their head down, and then the head comes up and they snap it. So that's a key for us, especially for the fives, to get off upfield. You can anticipate the snap and get up there. And avoid being predictable without being complex. We're very, very simple in what we do. We stick with one scheme and stay with it. We don't want to, we're going to do this return one week, this return the next week. This is the return, how we do it, and that's how it stays. Stay away from the penalties. That's a killer. Okay, getting pulled off sides on punt and then giving them a first down. Know the operation, the time. The punter, is he a two-stepper, is he a three-stepper, or does he just catch it and pull? Do they direction punt? All this sort of stuff goes into our special team scout report. Just work to find out little things that you can see. Okay, if you watch it enough, you'll find out that they're tipping you, what they're going to do, who's going where. But it's just film study. And now that everybody's getting huddled, there's no real excuse for not knowing what the punting team or what the kicking team is going to do. Okay, this is our return against the spread punt. So here's the fives. Okay, they're the inside guys now. All right, so we're going to line up to the return side. Okay, we'll try and disguise it sometimes. We'll line up, like he'll line up in a 4, he'll line up in a 2. Okay, so we disguise it. We don't want to be tipping it off all the time. 3's going to stay on the wing. Okay, 5's there. The 4's a releaser. Okay, he's going to get around, come back, and he sets it there. Okay, then the 3's going to come around, sets it just behind the line of scrimmage. The 3 to this side will also disengage at some point, more on shield punt than on what we call spread punt. Okay, and he's going to come back. So we start to build the wall. There's the linebacker type. He's going to the double team on the gunner. He's there with the other jammer, and then this guy, he's going to block the long snapper if they release the long snapper. Okay, some teams don't release the long snapper because basically he can't get down and cover. So it may be we tell him, okay, block the PP. And then this guy on your own. That's going to be our best guy. They're both our best guys, but we need to make sure that we don't lose it on that one. We call it blue, a left return. Then we've got our same thing for the right return. Okay, now it's the shield, what you wanted. Okay, so we'll line up according to how they line up. Sometimes we'll make a difference, all right? Grass line up in a real screwed up way. So we have to, there's different things we do. Instead of having the 3's out there, we might move the 3's in here. Because, okay, we're going to tell the 1's, well, you're taking these are gunners. We treat them as gunners. Okay, so now he's going to come around, set the wall. He's going to, there's 3 here. He's going to go up, make sure we tell him make sure the ball is going to be punted, okay? So we tell this one, okay, under the punt, you're checking under the punter, he's actually going to go behind the punter, okay? If the ball is not kicked by the time you get there. So if he gets to here and the ball's been punted, he's going to break off and come across. But if the ball's not been punted, he's going to come as close as he can and just get a hand. We're not going to cross his face because this guy is coming here, okay? And we don't want to get that collision, okay? So here, okay, this is hold up. I'll show you the hold up technique. Hold up, okay? He's going to hold up to release, okay? And what we tell these guys, they're going to run what we call a trail technique. I'll show you all the drills in a second. And it's basically, you've got to figure out how they line up. Do they run a really wide shield, okay? So our philosophy is, well, do we want to line up the three all the way out there, and we'll move him inside, like I said. We may move him here and say, okay, go take a shot, okay? Or if, you know, we come in here with the 2 5s, and we say to the 2s, all right, we're going to go for the block. The way we would go for the block on this particular, on a shield punt, is we're going to use the 5s and the 2s to the same side. They're going to come up the field, okay? The 5s are going to come up there and then cut outside. 5's going to come there, cut outside to that left side and to that right side. And then the 2s are coming up right behind them, right? So now he's got to make a decision. Which one's he going to take? And whatever one he takes is wrong. We've created a 4 on 3, okay? Obviously you're giving up the return, all right? You're going for the block, but that's how we would approach that if we wanted to block that shield.
Question. If you decide to block the punt, you take the 2s nearer to the line of scrimmage?
Yeah,
or
we do what we call prowl. We let them walk around.
Okay.
So then they'll just walk around and the 5s are standing up. And then I just tell them, at the snap, make sure you're in the right place.
Okay.
I don't care where you are before that,
okay,
but at the snap, make sure you're in the right place.
Disguise from the position,
exactly,
but on the snap, the
exactly,
man. Okay.
And what you'll find is what we had with Gratz. Gratz would keep the guards in, but then split the tackles all the way out here. So we just said, well, we just ignored it, and we just went for the block. Get it to the other side. Now, like if you look, I think I might have it on here. Vienna, okay, they run a different. They run shield punt, but they do something slightly different. What they do is they have a peel side, what we call a peel side. So these guys are all going to drop back and be soft there, okay? They're going to be soft there, and then that guy is going to attach himself to the outside. So they create a four-man wall. This will be the solid side, okay? And this is the guy that releases upfield. This is always a running back, and he's the guy that releases upfield. The long snapper doesn't. So you have to change assignments. And so that's all part of the scouting thing, that you have to make sure you scout and know exactly what they're going to do. All right, techniques. In the return game, it's all about hold up, trail, the 2-step redirect, which is a combined part of trail. That's an important one. Save the block, how to save the block. And then it's getting back upfield. Once you've made your block, or you know, when you're blocking a guy and you're going down the field, and then you know the return's gone, okay, and this guy's carrying on, we tell him, leave him, turn, and get to the next level blocking. And we've got a shitload of drills that we do for that as well. I'll show you them now. All right, this is the hold up. Okay, this is the tape we use to illustrate it. Okay, he's coming up, he engages, right, and once he gets to that engaged point right there, we teach him hands inside, elbows tight, right, and just drop the hips, right? You just drop down as if you're taking a crap. That's exactly what we say, taking a shit. You just drop them down, pull them, and then you release them, okay? you release them away from the return side, okay? Always release away from the return side. So we do this drill a bunch. And like I say, this is like your interior guys, not your outside guys or your jammers. And we just work this, and we tell them you have to be vicious in this drill. It's not just run up, hold him, because he's trying to get downfield. So we actually run it against our punt team. This is like releasing them, the hold up, okay, hold up, release, now start to escort your guy down the field. Okay, this is the trail drill. This is what we do. We set 3 there, and there's a returner over here. Okay, I'm signaling there. I'm signaling to the returner when to start running. So that guy's on the return team, return team, return team. Okay, punt team. There are punt teams that side. Okay, so we can say that's like 4s and 5s. Right? In some cases 3s. So they're going to run down the field, okay, and we're working to stay on the near shoulder. All right, you can see there he's lost it, all right, because he just went too fast. So we do this drill a bunch. We'll do it both sides, okay. We'll do it left side, and then we'll go right side. And we just want them to stay on that near shoulder. They don't have to be touching it; just have to be on it. So that they can when he starts to try and get over to where the football is, that we can redirect. Okay, like you see there, he does a great job every time. He's shitty. So, I mean, this is in camp, so this is the introduction to the drill. But some of these kids have never done it. They've come up from the youth or from some other team. You know, we change sides. Okay, you don't want to do it at a stupid rate. When we do it at a stupid, a really fast rate, it's just one-on-one. But we want to be careful, take care of each other, and all that good stuff. Got to work the shoulder. You've got to work that shoulder before you get to the redirect. Okay. Redirect drill. Okay. That's it there. You start to feel the man coming, you attack the shoulder, you can see they're coming down. Okay, as he comes down the field on that near shoulder, he feels the man breaking down, trying to get the ball. We just call that a 2-step redirect. Just like that, boom. That's all it does. This is on it, this is SMU with a return, and you'll see in there's a redirect in there. I just use that as an example. Okay, save the block. Save the block is really important because what we're saying is, okay, you tell them if you can see their numbers on their back, you cannot put your hands on them, okay? So what we tell them is just save the block, just as you feel them coming across, just get where you can in front of them and just put your hands up in the air. All right? There's no way they can call you for blocking the back end. Right? And that's why we call it save the block. Just put your hands up in the air and use your ass to block him. It takes away all that blocking the back shit that the referees try and fit you with. So this is where we got this from. This is from Texas Birmingham. They're a D2 school, and you see it. All they're doing is they're going to run down, they're going to change direction, and they're just going to throw their hands up and butt block. All right, it's not really a good example, but that's what it is. Okay, and we just call that safety block. A better example. So you'll see it here as they come down the field. You see, I think it's this guy. Yeah. Can't get called. They cannot call you for blocking the back if your hands are up in the air. So that's why we do it. Next level. This is This is a drill we do to teach them how to do the escort. You've seen them do the trail. You've seen them do the redirect. we're building the drill. Okay, so we've got the trail element, we've got the redirect element, and now we get the escort element where they're coming back up the field and taking on next level blocking. Oh no, it's not. This is game film. Okay. All right, something's happened to us, I don't know what. Right, this is great. This is what I said to you about how they're going to line up weird on you. Okay, so we've got, there's the three. Okay, so we know who's eligible and who's not. Okay, we've already put our three out there. Okay, our three's going to come off the edge. Three's going to come off the edge. All right, we've decided they're not that wide. There's our two backers. Okay, he misses, which is not really good. Okay, we set the return. Okay, get the block. This is the special one. Okay, for us that's pretty good. You know, we're plus 23. He should be down. He should be. You see how he's to the return side. This is the return side over here. So he's shaded to that. There's the three. Okay, comes around. The four comes around, and we're setting the wall there. We're a little too far over. We should be more between the numbers and the hash.
You almost split for the return in there. More space. No.
Yeah. Just give them a bigger added. This is the return drill. The next level blocking drill that I was trying to find. Okay, we start off, okay, they just run down. Okay, they're just going to run down, boom, take the block, make the block. Again, it's the same principle that I told you about in the kick-off return. We want to quarter the guy, make him into four pieces, so it's straight down the middle, across the chest. And it's the same principle with the kick-off return blocking. We want the hand to the chest, hand to the shoulder. And so that's how we can create leverage and turn those shoulders. So this is like the first time they've ever done this drill. This was like 2 years ago. So see how they stop their feet and start putting their shoulders in. We want them to quarter.
Coach, why do you put in four guys as dummies? Doesn't matter how many?
No, it's just to get the reps. It's just to get the reps. Okay. So they get 4 reps on the block. And you'll see it as it goes on. Got to let it run because I'm not sure whether. Okay, what we do, we add and what we do, I'm trying to get to the point where I can show you. Like I say, everybody does this drill. It should be, as they come in with it, should be the foot should go into it. So you set the block as you come into it. Somebody's a D lineman, they just want to knock the shit out of someone. Alright, this is against Berlin. Eurobowl, quarter-final. Okay, there you can see he's setting the return on the double. And it comes across. And again, you know, this is an American kid. So this is what we're looking for. Okay? We're looking for bodies on the floor. Right? You can get some really devastating blocks. when you set it up. Okay, he goes for two. That's flipper. He's going to go for two. Follow up. Now I'll take that one. Okay, that was a little bit near. Okay, but it's a touchdown. So I'll take that. No flags. Good job. All right, back to the drill. Right, this is with the escort. Okay, this is with the escort. This is where we're simulating the trail technique that we showed in the other drills. Okay, we get down to here, and then they're going to return. Now he'll become the returner. Right, he'll become the escort guy, and we're building the drill. So they get down there, boom, and he's coming back. He's got to make a block. As we come, like I said, this was the first time they did this drill. We should actually be, these guys should actually be coming across more than instead of just like, because they're just learning the drill, it looks a little bit shabby. Gradually we'll increase the tempo with that, so it's a lot faster. Okay, he's too far upfield on him. That guy can cut underneath him. You've got to be on that. You've got to be away from that shoulder a little bit. It's not a bad combination. So we don't want them putting the shoulder into the block. We want them to extend and punch into the block. So it takes a while for them to get used to that. You don't want to get too physical. You don't want to get too close to it, because they'll just grab the shit out of it. Alright, this is a return against the Danish team in the CFL competition that we were in. Okay, now he decides to take it. I mean, I was pissed when he did that, but I wasn't so pissed afterwards, as you'll see. Okay? Not quite. Right, so he's the special one. But what you can see, right, watch there, we're putting one down. What you can see though is that as you watch it, if you watch, there's only one. He gets a loaf, what we call a loaf. That's bullshit, right? He should be sprinting. He should be up there with these guys. There's another drill that I don't have on here. It's called a jazz drill that you do if everybody's, if we've got the return going. Okay, we have 4 guys there, right? So it's a fumble, or we do it as a fumble drill as well. So we'll just drop the ball down. One picks it up, right, and the other 3 become escorts. So it doesn't matter who picks it up. The other 3 have got to say, hey, he's got the ball. We're going back. It's in case of a drop ball, but it also applies to when the returner's going. We want everybody going in front of him. We don't want to be chasing the returner. We want to try and get in front of the returner and find work. Okay, this is the tight shot. Again, hold up technique. Now you see the running down with them. Okay, right there. It's exactly what we want. There's a kill shot there, but he backfired on him. But again, coming downfield with them, setting the blocks, legal blocks, okay, and then he's got to do his own little thing. What we talked about, he's got to be able to at least make one miss. It's against the Rangers, I think. Okay, this is where they ran a slightly different formation, and someone hadn't paid attention to the scout report and the film. Set the blocks.
Is that the young platform?
Huh?
Is that the young platform?
Yeah. And again, you can see this is how we line up to that shield punt. Okay, here we've told him, if you can go get it, go get it. All right? It's a linebacker, go get it. If you can get it, go get it. Because we felt that at that point, where they were making the punt, that the punter was so close. These guys should be taught, you never ever step back. And we teach our personal protector that. You never ever step back because you're stepping in, you're getting near the block point. So if they're taking steps back, we said to flipper, if you can get there, you go get it. We gave up one return block for that. If you can get there, go get it. Because you can see just how close he gets to making them block the punt. See? So close. So anyway, there we go. We set our blocks up. Boom, boom. That was the double on the return side, on the jammer. There he's pleading. No, please, you got me. Okay, again, this is against grass. This is the one where it hits the ground. Okay. Like I say, he's not the brightest pencil in the drawer. So he's letting it bounce. He's not even making an attempt. We get very frustrated with this kid because he's got all the talent in the world. And sometimes he just, we're missing here. Okay. The guy that's supposed to get the long snapper. Okay. Little Philip. All right. He screws that up. He's gone way too wide. Okay, but now athletic ability gets him out. That's too close. That got it. That's what got it pulled back. This was pulled back because of that. Because of that block there. Right there. That should have been a save block. He's been taught that. It should have
If
been
he
a
comes
save
from
block.
behind and take the arms up.
Butt blocking. They can't do anything. They cannot. I'll argue it to death with a referee. They can't get that. So that's it. I know you're going to get all this stuff, so I hope you want to use it. Okay. So thanks, Sean.
Thank you.